What's good, agents? Welcome to this week's Digimon card game video. We're going to be talking about our Jesmon deck, which you've seen in other videos, specifically in the Lord Nightmon match that we had, as well as the Azulanmon / Hexabao / Blue Hybrid matchup that we had, which will be in the end card of this video. This is a deck that we took to Pro Plays Games regional qualifier in Kentucky. In Louisville, specifically at Trading Card Game Con or TCG-Con. We got 10th place out of 84, I believe, with this deck. So I figured I should definitely post a deck profile for that, so you guys can take a look at it. So yeah, we did really well. This deck has been awesome in testing. I've really loved it. If you got questions about it, please drop them in the description. I always say description, in the comment section below. And yeah, guys, enjoy the profile. It's a little longer than usual, just because we recorded this on stream. So I did it on stream. So I had to cut out some parts where we're interacting, specifically with chat, etc., etc. But anyway, enjoy the deck profile. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And also, what decks are you going to be running in BTA, and what would you like us to build and cover? Anyway, y'all, see you in the next video. Enjoy. So let's go ahead and just get this started. Okay, so for our Digitama, we have 1 Demi-Meramon and 4 Digimon. Honest to God, I think you could swap out all of these if you wanted to. Some people like Babydomon because you get piercing, because you get 2000 DP on a Digimon that has piercing. So your Jesmon will have 2000 DP because he's probably gonna have piercing every time or every turn. Now, the issue why I don't run Babydomon is there are times where I don't have any Sistermons in hand, and it's rare, but it can happen. It's more often that I will destroy a Digimon, get my 2000 DP, than do I have the issue of, oh my god, I don't have a Sistermon to play. So I just chose Digimon just because I found that it was easy to proc between the Bauhucks, between the Judgment of the Blades, and all the other cards in the deck. And plus, this will make it so that if I need to swing with Savior Huckmon, I can, which we'll get to later in the deck profile. But it allows me to swing with Savior Huck if I have to, which is super helpful. I cannot stress that enough. In one of the games that we won, that was kind of like the I don't want to say the deal breaker, but the turning of the tide, so to speak. And then Demi-Meramon is great just because you swing at a player, you gain 1000 DP. That is super straightforward, I think, super simple. I don't really think it needs any more explanation than that. You could run 4 Demi-Meramons in 1 GG or whatever. It's really a matter of preference. I like the Digimons. They've always served me well. And I find that in the mirror, getting that extra DP on Digimon that are not Jesmon can be really helpful. Next, we're going to talk about our level 3s. We're going to start with the Sistermons. God, this deck has a lot of level 3s. Alright, so we have 3 Sistermon Blanc. That's self-explanatory. I think if you wanted to run 4, you could. I personally found that it was too many of them. Like, I didn't want to see them as often as I was seeing them when I ran it at 4, so I took it down to 3. For those of you guys who don't know, on play, when you play her, you draw a card. Then she also gives all of your Sistermons on board blocker, so long as you have a Huckmon, Jesmon, or a Royal Knight, or rather, I guess a Huckmon or a Royal Knight, since Jesmon is a Royal Knight. So obviously that's helpful because you get blocker. Now in this format, it doesn't matter when you're playing against Hexabao or Blue Hybrid because they're just going to stun everything anyway, so you're not going to get to block. But in the other matchups, it can be pretty nice. And then we're actually running 2 Sistermon Blanc Awakens. Her effect is freaking amazing. So you play her, and when she's played, you can add a Blanc underneath into its Digivolution sources from your hand or trash, and recover 1. Yeah, that's great. But then the other effect is, on delete, you can add any Sistermon, Huckmon, or Jesmon from your trash to your hand, which lets you just recycle cards. You cannot add another Blanc Awakened, but that's okay. You really just want it for, let's say, Jesmon's in the trash, or your Savior, or your Bow. Whatever you needed, it was in the trash because it went there from security or something else. She's like your, oh, let me just grab that right back. It's beautiful. Beautiful card. Also, if you want to, you can evolve her on top of Blanc for 2 costs. So if you want to choke somebody out, you can. If you want to draw a card, you can. I don't do it too often, but sometimes it's helpful. Oh, and I guess another thing I should mention, if you have a board that looks like this, we have Blanc and then your Blanc Awakened, Blanc, of course, will give Blanc Awakened blocker. So now you have a 5k Digimon with blocker. So that's helpful. All right. Next, we're going to go into, we have 2 of the new Huckmon. I know some of y'all are like, why only 2? Why aren't you running 4? Because I've found after a certain point, I don't need to search for Sistermons every time that Digimon swings. This effect is mandatory. It's not an option. So every time whoever this is built on swings, you have to reveal the top 5 cards of your deck and add all Sistermon among them. After a certain point, you're probably going to run out of Sistermons, or you don't need to keep searching. So I only run it at 2. And I found that that's the right number. I still see it like every game just because of the amount of draw power and search in this deck. I don't know. 4 to me just feels excessive. I know people like to run 4, but I wouldn't do that personally. Maybe when the starter deck comes out, and for what is it? Starter deck 12 or 13, whatever number it's going to be in BT 10. We got some time for that. Next, we run 3 Biyomon. Biyomon's here because of her inheritable. When you swing at a player, you draw a card. This deck wants you to draw. It wants you to build an arsenal in your hand as quickly as possible. So that's why Biyomon's in here. This card will probably be swapped out down the line. But I think it's a flex spot. Just for me, I think she works really well. Next, we have 4 Guilleman. Now, we don't use the Warp Digivolution at all. We're not using Gallantmon in this deck at all. In the previous version of the deck for BT6, we were using Gallantmon. But this is literally here because you can draw a card when you delete a Digimon. This deck is constantly killing shit. Constantly. Between Jesmon swinging into things with Judgment of the Blade, between Jesmon just swinging into things anyway, between Bowhuck blowing stuff up, and then Sistermon Ciel Awakened, you're constantly blowing up Digimon, so you're constantly drawing cards. It's self-explanatory, I think. Alright, y'all, so we have our 4 Huckmon. These are the Huckmon from BT6. On play, reveal top 5 cards of the deck. You can add up to 2 Digimon with Huckmon, Jesmon, or Sistermon. This is your classic must-have searcher. You have to run 4 of these in the deck. However, in matches, sometimes you got to decide, am I going to Digivolve, or am I just going to hard play it and search the top 5 cards of the deck? It's really, I just go with my gut on it, to be honest with you. But, great card. Must-have for this deck. Let's talk about level 4s. So, this is a controversial pick, I guess. People are constantly shitting on this Digimon. But I like her. I like using this card, and it's not because of boobs. Alright? Sistermon Ciel Awakened. I think she is awesome. However, I would never run her more than 1. The reason why I like this card is simple. We also have 3 CLs. It's simple, really, right? So, let's say you Digivolve on top, you Digivolve into Savior, you can play out CL Awaken for free, and then you can kill the Bokomons, you can kill the Modoki Betamons, you can kill the Nemons, you can kill the annoying little Digimon that are all over the board currently. You can get rid of, I think can you get rid of Kumamon? I think you can get rid of the Kumamons too. You can basically get rid of all the annoying little Digimon that pop up this format that give people advantage over time. Also, when she dies, just like with Blanc Awaken, you can search your trash for any Huck, Jess, or Sistermon that's not Ciel Awakened. So if for some reason you want to get back your Blanc Awakened, you can do that with this card, allowing you to continue the loop, which is great, especially if you're going to Digivolve into Savior at a later time, or for whatever reason, you need it in your hand, right? Easy way to get that back. Again, I would not run this card more than 1, but I do think that she is a nice one of, because when she comes up, she can really help you wipe an entire board. There have been plenty of scenarios both on stream and at this tournament where we had Jesmon swing into one Digimon, we had Bao kill another Digimon, and then we played CL from our hand using Jesmon's effect and effectively wiped their entire board. It can be a game-changing card. I hate to use that phrase, but it can really be a game-changing play. And also in the mirror match, I find that it can be really helpful for getting rid of the blockers and the Blancs so that you can go in and take out your opponent's Jesmon in the mirror. But hey, that's just me. I know a lot of people are on the train of she sucks, never use her, blah, 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 blah. I personally think as a one-of, she's cool. Wouldn't run her past that, though. Then, of course, we have our 3 CLs. She explains herself. Player, get a memory. Cool. And all of your, on all turns, your Royal Knights and your Huckmons gain 2k extra DP. Great for the mirror, and great when you're playing Yellow Hybrid and their DP is boosted to freaking God knows how high. All right. Next, we have 4, Greymon from Starter Deck 1. He explains himself, gives you your stack here with his inheritable, +1 security check. With Jesmon, that's insane, especially if you have Savior in that stack, because you're talking 4 checks on that turn. You can OTK if at times, right? Especially in the mirror, which I guess we can talk about that a little bit now, but especially in the mirror, when you're playing the Huckmon to search, you swing with the Huckmon just to get your opponent down to 4 security. That's the whole, just to get them down to 4. So that in the back, when you Digivolve up to your Jesmon and you have a Savior and a Greymon, you're checking for 4 checks, and then you go into Omni and you swing for game. The importance of whittling away your opponent's security cannot be understated or overstated. It is so important, critical, I would say, that if you have a Huck or a Blanc on the board before your Jesmon and it can swing to start lowering that security. I guess unless you're playing Yellow Hybrid, then, I mean, who cares? They're just going to gain the security back. But if you're not playing that deck, it can be imperative that you get all 4 checks, restand, go into Blitz Omni, and go for game. It's a really nice play. Last but not least, the most important level 4 outside of Greymon, I would say, would be Bauhuck. Bauhuck allows, he's basically going to be your deletion options for killing things that are level 4-ish and below. I mean, really, it's, yeah, level 4s, some level 4s, and then your level 3s. So when you swing, if you have a Sistermon on board, Bauhuck will allow you to delete 1 Digimon with 5k DP or less. What is good, DRG Manor, my #1 hype man? What's up, my guy? How are you doing? How was your day? For those of you guys who are going to be watching this on YouTube, make sure you guys go check out DRG Manor, especially if you love Apex Legends. That man streams all the goddamn time. So, Bauhuck is also really important to the deck. He enables so many just board wipe plays. You need him. You need him. I don't know why you'd even think about running it without, but I'm saying it anyway. Our one of level 5, which everybody's going to be like, why the hell are you playing this? It is Metal Greymon. Now, his ability to swing for 3 checks is cool. I don't use him for that at all. You could. The downside is when attacking, you lose 5 memory, which is a lot. But I know if you need to swing for 3 checks at 9k, you can. I think I've only had it come up 1 time, and that was out of desperation. I don't think it was winning me the game. But why he's here is on your turn, your Digimon gains 3,000 DP, the Digimon in this stack. That is awesome when you're playing against Yellow Hybrid and you're concerned about their DP being boosted by 10k or some obscenely high number. Metal Greymon will oftentimes give you the extra boost that you need from Jesmon, because now your Jesmon's sitting at about 17k. That's not including if you have a CL out or any of your other inheritables proccing. It's really just Jesmon swing, Jesmon play a Digimon, gains 3k from his own effect, already has the extra 3k here. He's at 17k. You're killing most things, even with the DP buff. It's awesome. But you could take him out for something else if you wanted to. I don't think he's required. I love the card, and I thought he worked, and he's done right by me. So, and last but not least, you gotta have this. You gotta have it for Savior Huckmon. Savior Huckmon enables all of your OTK plays pretty much. He allows your Jesmon to restand on swing, and not only that, on Digivolve, you can play a Sistermon from your hand for free, so you can always Digivolve on top of a CL, or not on top of a CL, I'm sorry. Digivolve uses effect to play a CL, and then this man costs you 2 instead of 3. So even if your opponent tries to choke you at 2, you go into Savior, you play CL for free, and then you gain a memory, so you're at 0. Then you Digivolve on top of Savior, go into Jesmon, boom, you have a Jesmon out. Of course, there's a concern that it could die from shenanigans on your opponent's turn, but they're going to have to spend a bunch of memory to presumably do that, so you should be fine. But Savior is really cool. Also, another thing you can do with Savior and why I play the Digimon, if you got the Bauhuck under it, you Digivolve on top, play the CL. You're now at 9k DP, right? So you swing, you use Bow to kill something else. Digimon gives you another 2k, so you're at 11. So he can safely swing into security at 11k. Also, if you don't have Bow and you have Greymon instead, and you have your CL, you can do 2 checks at 9. In the mirror match, that's actually not a bad idea, because the biggest thing you have to worry about in security at that point, at 9K, is a Metal Greymon, if they're like me and running it, which they probably aren't. One of 4 Jesmon, or Omnimons. So you're talking 4 to 6 Digimon, maybe 7, that you could be worried about. There's probably no options that you should be scared of, because they're probably not running any removal. Most people don't. All right. So now we go into our level 6s for the deck. This should be of no surprise to anyone. It is simply 4 of the overpowered Jesmon. If you don't know what he does, I'll break it down for you. So when attacking, you get to play a Sistermon from your hand or trash for free. So you can play Blanc Awakened. You can play regular Blanc. You can play CL. You can play CL Awakened. It's really freaking broken, and it's amazing. And then when a Digimon is played, you gain 3k DP and Piercing. Don't be fooled. It is not Sistermon specific. So what I mean that is, if you don't have a Sistermon and you have Jesmon on board, but you need to get your Piercing and your, what's the other effect? Piercing and 3k DP. If you have the memory, just play another Digimon. Just from your hand. You can literally just play Guilleman if you have the 3 memory for some reason, and you'll gain your boosted effects. There's been a few tournaments I've been in where people, like, didn't know that and thought I was lying to them, and I had to show, like, put the card all up in the camera so they can see it's not Sistermon specific. Everybody assumes it is, but it's not. Play any Digimon on that turn, you get that effect. So good. So yeah, that's that. The boss of the deck. Also, fun fact, we do have the max rarity version, and I have 2 more of these coming. So who knows? This deck, we might literally run 4 of these, but that's neither here nor there. If you want to buy it, it might be up on TCG Player. Anyway, our level 7s. We got 2 Omnimon. Now this package that we're running, I think you can do whatever you want with it. I don't think you have to do this. I find that it does come up way more often, but Omnimon's like your win button. This goes back to what I said before. If you have your Jesmon, Savior, Greymon, you can literally win the game if you've been chipping away at their security the entire time, which is kind of what you want to do anyway. And what I mean by win the game, if you have Jesmon and Savior and Greymon, that's 4 checks right there. If at the start of the game, you hard play the Huck, which has already hit the security, you just go into Omni and you win. That's how I got through quite a few games at the tournament and before the tournament. Dizzle can tell y'all there were quite a few matches. The rounds are 50 minutes. We were ending our games in 15 to 20 consistently. So, I don't think you need to run these at 2. I do, because it's a major, just like, it's over. And he's great because he will still proc CL and Blanc's effects, because they also have their effects if you have Royal Knights. So you'll still have blocker, you'll still have 2k extra DP. It can be really nice just to have Omnimon on the board. And lastly, for our level 7s, we have 1x antibody. Total flex spot. You do not have to run this card at all. I found that it was pretty helpful in this format just because of things like Trubimon, where, you know, if I need to just start ejecting sources for whatever reason to stop the attacks. Even to a certain extent, Blue Hybrid, I found that it was helpful just for clearing out bodies and just getting rid of things between him swinging into a body, popping a body, bow, popping something else. I found that he has some versatility. But I think it really depends on the meta, and like when I say meta, you're like your local meta and what you think you're going to run into. I don't think you need this card, but he has saved my ass enough that he's kind of earned his place. If anything, I might take away 1 Omni and do something like this. But I don't know yet. We'll see. Doesn't really matter because this format's almost over, but you know. All right. Next, Tamers. 2 Taikamiya. Memory setter. And the real reason he is here, aside from being a memory setter, is you get 1 extra security check if you have 4 or more sources on your red Digimon. So guess what? Your Jesmon, if you have Greymon, gets 3 checks now. So that's another way you can insta-win with Savior, Greymon, Jesmon. Takes a little while to build that stack. But once you do, and you get this tie out, son, it's over. You're swinging basically 6 checks at like 16, 17k, and then you go right into Omni and go for game. It is stupid good. You have to run ties. I don't care if you run 1 or 3. You got to have tie in the deck at some point. because of that extra security check. It makes a difference. Now for option cards, we have a Delicate Plan, which should be a given. Turns off options in the stack. It's important this format, I think, but not as important as it was last format. I wouldn't not run it. I would always have it just in case, depending on what you're playing, whether it be security control or some other shenanigans. It's good to have. Then we have 2 red memory boost. Why? It lets you search the deck. Sometimes you just need to find those pieces, and lets you search. And then also, it can give you the 2 extra memory on delay. Everybody's going to love choking the shit out of you when you're playing a Jesmon deck, so you need to be able to gain memory quickly. Then lastly, probably one of the best, if not the absolute best card in the deck, you have 3 Judgment of the Blade. This is basically your Gaia Force. This is your removal card. I don't run Gaia Force in this build anymore, or Giga Storm or anything like that, because I've seen the light and the power of Judgment of the Blade. I don't run it at 4 because I think it would be a little too much. You could probably take out one of the Omnis if you wanted to, or, you know, something. You could take out one of the flex cards for Judgment. Don't know what it does. It allows your Huckmon or Royal Knight to swing into unsuspended Digimon. So it makes Jesmon your removal card. You play that on Jesmon. You have your Savior Huck. He swings into one Digimon, restands, swings into another Digimon with piercing. It's abusive. It's dumb. It's amazing. Oh, and then when it comes out of security, you get to play Sistermon from hand or trash for free. So if you're at 0 memory, here's a CL, passes it over to me. You play Sistermon Blanc Awakened. Okay, cool. I recover 1. You play CL Awakened. Okay, cool. I kill the Digimon. In security, this card is busted. And then it comes to your hand. So yeah, that is the deck, guys. It took me a while to land on this variant. I'm really happy with it, really proud of it. Unfortunately, come BT8, this deck will not be as crazy because we only have 1 Savior, Huckmon. However, we will be trying to rework the deck and make something that's semi-playable. I have no idea what that looks like yet, but we're going to try and do something and see how it goes. Because why not? I really enjoy this deck. It will be right back to full power, if not beyond full power, come BT10 over here in the US. So we got a while for that. We got a while for those starter decks. But anyway, y'all, that is it for the deck profile. So for my YouTube folks, I will see you in the next video.